The scanner pulsed once, an emerald heartbeat that echoed through the chamber, and rejected its 37th candidate of the day. Unworthy, it intoned, voice resonant as thunder through glass. The warrior before it, a towering reptilian from the Vark Consortium, hissed in fury before storming off, his scales flashing with humiliation. The galactic citadel murmured with discontent. Hundreds of alien delegates whispered, their voices a symphony of static hums and chirps. No species had passed. The progenitor's ancient test, the selection of the prototype, remained unconquered. At the edge of the grand hall, for humans stood awkwardly near the refreshments table. Captain Rhea Alvarez watched the proceedings with arms folded, her expression unreadable beneath the citadel's cold starlight. So, she murmured, 37 of the galaxy's finest, and we're up next. No pressure. Dr. Isaac Tran adjusted his glasses, a useless habit since they were augmented with nanolenses, and replied, technically, it's 41 now. They just miscounted the explosions. Rhea gave him a sideways look. That's comforting. Behind them, Maya Iqbal knelt beside a potted luminescent plant, sketching it in a digital notebook. It's not about strength, she said, half to herself. The scanner measures adaptability, not power. The progenitors designed it to find creativity under pressure. Creativity under pressure? Jax Hollander barked a laugh, slouching against the nearest pillar. Then humanity's got this in the bag. We've been improvising since fire. The translator drones above them buzz irritably, trying to keep up with Jax's slang. Across the chamber, a dignitary from the crystalline Vlari turned its prismatic head toward the humans. You four? Representing your species. It clicked in disbelief. Your kind only joined the council 50 years ago. Rhea smiled politely. Yeah, but we learn fast. Isaac muttered. Usually after we break something first. A gong-like tone reverberated through the chamber. The Citadel's overseer, a translucent orb of sentient plasma named Talrev, floated forward. Final candidates approach. Dozens of alien eyes turned toward the humans. Some glimmered with curiosity, others with amusement. Humanity was still considered a galactic toddler, a noisy, erratic species from a backwater planet that named its own moon the Moon. As the humans walked to the center platform, Jax whispered, anyone else feel like this is high school all over again? Rhea didn't answer. She stepped onto the platform, shoulders squared, eyes on the towering scanner. The machine resembled an obelisk of shifting geometry, symbols crawling across its surface like living light. Talrev's voice resonated. The scanner will assess your essence. Should you fail, you'll be dismissed. Should you succeed, the prototype will activate. Define activate, Isaac whispered. Hopefully not explode, Jax offered. Rhea took a slow breath. Focus. We're representing Earth. Try not to embarrass 7 billion people. Too late, Jax muttered as the scanner's hum deepened. The first to step forward was Isaac. Streams of light swept across him, dissecting data invisible to the human eye. The chamber hushed. Then the scanner spoke. Cognitive patterns erratic, logic inconsistent. Efficiency inadequate, verdict unworthy. Isaac stepped back, cheeks flushed. Well, he said, that stung. Maya approached next, chin lifted. The scanner's light flickered in soft gold this time, as if curious. Emotive resonance, high. Conceptual creativity, unstable. Predictive modeling, impossible. Verdict, unworthy. Maya bowed her head slightly. I'll take impossible as a compliment. Jax swaggered forward with a grin. Let's make it quick, tin can. The scanner pulsed violently, lights distorting. For a long moment, it made no sound. Then, cognitive field, nonsensical. Behavior, chaotic. Purpose, undefined. Verdict, deeply unworthy. The audience erupted in laughter, a cacophony of alien tones. Jax turned back toward the group with a smirk. Guess I broke it. Rhea sighed, stepping up last. Captain Rhea Alvarez, representing the United Terran Coalition. The scanner stilled. The lights dimmed, as if the chamber itself were holding its breath. Then it spoke again, softly this time, almost reverently. Pattern, anomalous. evolutionary trajectory, indeterminate, probability curve, nonlinear, emotional cognitive hybridization, unquantifiable. The obelisk's runes blaze white. Verdict, chosen. Gasps rippled through the assembly. The Vlari dignitaries stumbled backward. Crystalline body, refracting panic. The overseer orb flickered erratically. Chosen? Talrev stammered. That cannot be. The scanner has never. A low rumble shook the hall. The obelisk split open, revealing a blinding vortex of light. Energy spiraled outward, forming a shimmering portal suspended above the dais. Rhea shielded her eyes. Isaac, analysis. Isaac's wrist device blinked erratically. Energy outputs off the charts. Quantum field entanglement. No. Dimensional convergence. It's opening a door. Maya finished softly. Jax grinned. Told you something was going to explode. The portal expanded, a windless storm pulling at their uniforms. Talrev shouted, "Step back. The trial has begun." What trial? Rhea demanded. The orb flickered. The prototype, Origin. It chooses not the strongest, but the most adaptive. You have been summoned. Summoned? Jax echoed, like jury duty or... Before he could finish, the light engulfed them. They were pulled forward as gravity inverted, sound warped, and every nerve screamed in colors they didn't have names for. For an instant, Rhea saw fragments. Cities of glass collapsing in reverse, oceans boiling upward, constellations rearranging like equations. Then silence. The four humans stood suspended in a void of liquid light, their reflections rippling below like ghosts. The scanner's voice whispered all around them, no longer mechanical, but almost human. You are the anomaly, the unpredictable variable, the flaw in every model. The progenitors await your proof. Rhea looked at her team, her scientist, her dreamer, her wild card. Well, she said, straightening her shoulders as the light began to pull them towards something vast and unseen. Looks like humanity finally made the shortlist. Jack smirked through the glow. Hoped their snacks were going. The void folded inward, and the citadel was gone. Only the echo of the scanner remained. Steady, deliberate, final. Trial initiated. Prototype, Origin. The first thing Captain Rhea Alvarez felt was heat. Not the kind that burned, but the kind that pressed down from every direction, like standing inside a living sun. She blinked, and the void was gone. She stood ankle-deep in ash on an alien plain. Mountains rose and melted in the same breath. Rivers of molten glass snaked across the horizon. Above, a crimson sky flickered, as if someone were still deciding what color it wanted to be. "Okay," she murmured. "This definitely isn't Kansas." Her comlink crackled. "Rhea? Captain? You alive?" It was Jax, his voice distorted but unmistakably irreverent. "Barely," she said. "Status?" "I'm great." Landed on something soft. Turns out it was Isaac. A groan came through the channel. "I can confirm," Isaac said. "He's heavier than he looks." Rhea exhaled in relief. "Form up. We regroup it." She stopped, scanning the horizon. "Whatever that jagged mess of a mountain is." "Copy that," said Maya's calm voice. "There's movement in the sky. I'll bring my recorder." Rhea tapped her wrist display and began walking toward a meeting point, her boots crunching on strange, shifting terrain. The ground felt alive, breathing almost. Each step sent ripples of color through the ash. When they finally regrouped, Jax was already tinkering with something metallic. It looked like part of a broken drone. "Found a souvenir," he said, prying it open with a multi-tool. "Pretty sure it was watching me." Isaac crouched beside him, scanning the remains. "It's self-repairing. See the filaments? Adaptive nanostructure. This planet's reactive. It changes to counter us." Rhea frowned. "Meaning?" "Meaning," Isaac said. "The longer we're here, the harder it gets to stay alive." Maya was staring at the horizon. "Sketchpad forgotten. This isn't just a test. It's observation. Every choice we make, every adaptation. It's recording us." Jack straightened, tossing the half-melted drone aside. "So we're basically lab rats in an evolving maze." "Neat," They began to move toward higher ground, navigating shifting terrain that seemed to resist their progress. Every step, the world changed. Grass sprouted, turned metallic, then dissolved into vapor. "I don't like this," Rhea said. "You don't like anything," Jax replied. "I like quiet," she said. "And right now, this place feels like it's waiting for permission to kill us." They didn't have to wait long. A sudden wind howled through the ravine. Shapes emerged sleek, silver constructs rising from the ground, forming wings, limbs, and faces that weren't faces. They looked vaguely humanoid, but fluid, like reflections trying to hold form. Maya's breath caught. "They're mimicking us." The constructs moved as one, blades forming from their arms. "Contact!" Rhea barked. "Defensive positions." Jax slammed the drone core into ground, rewiring it mid-motion. "Improvised EMP, brace yourselves." The explosion of light tore through the nearest attackers, melting them into puddles of quicksilver. The others adapted instantly, forming shields against the next pulse. Isaac cursed. "They're learning from us." "Then don't do anything predictable," Jax shouted. Rhea gritted her teeth and charged. Her pulse rifle spat bursts of plasma, each one reflected by the constructs until she adjusted her aim mid-shot, ricocheting off metallic surfaces to strike from behind. Maya, crouched behind a fragment of crystalline debris, began humming a steady, haunting melody. The air trembled. The constructs faltered, their movements glitching for a second. Isaac stared at her. "What are you doing?" "Disrupting their pattern," Maya said softly. "Sound isn't just noise, it's information. The planet's listening." Rhea used the opening to finish the fight, slamming a plasma charge into the ground. The blast sent molten debris spiraling skyward. When the smoke cleared, the constructs were gone, absorbed back into the shifting terrain. Silence returned. The team stood breathing hard, the acrid scent of scorched air lingering. "Everyone okay?" Rhea asked. "Define okay," Jack said, brushing soot from his jacket. "My eyebrows are technically fine." Isaac's eyes darted across the terrain. "Captain, the environment adapted mid-battle. It mirrored our attacks, our tactics, even our emotions. Whatever controls this place is studying how we think." Rhea crouched beside a patch of melted glass, running her hand over it. The surface shimmered and reflected her face, but not quite. The reflection smiled back a moment after she did. "Yeah," she said quietly. "It's learning." They pressed onward, the air thickening with static. Strange spires rose around them, ancient structures half swallowed by the shifting ground. At the center stood a towering archway, its symbols pulsing in time with their heartbeats. "This feels like the right kind of wrong," Jax muttered. Isaac approached the archway, running a scanner over it. "I think it's a data node. The progenitors left logs encoded in the structure. Give me a second." The runes flared as he connected his wrist interface. A voice, faint, fragmented, echoed from the air itself. "Observation Unit 2 Delta. Adaptation trial continues. All previous species failed after 3.7 cycles. Predictive variance exceeds tolerance thresholds. Adjusting hostility parameters." The ground trembled. Jax groaned. "Did that thing just say adjusting hostility parameters?" Rhea's expression hardened. "We trigger the next phase." The spires around them began to shift, twisting into new shapes. Turrets, tendrils, forms bristling with weaponry. Maya stepped forward suddenly, her eyes wide with realization. It's not about strength. It's about unpredictability. Every other species failed because they were consistent. We're not. Rhea turned to her. "You're saying we need to act like humans," Maya finished. "Messy, illogical, contradictory." Jax grinned. "Finally, a test we're qualified for." Rhea smirked despite herself. "Then let's improvise." The team scattered as the battlefield erupted. Plasma bolts cut the air, and the world itself seemed to fight back. Rhea barked orders, weaving between cover while Jax set traps that made no tactical sense, until they worked. Isaac redirected a beam of energy into the ground, creating a feedback loop that destabilized the terrain. Maya, shouting above the chaos, sang in rhythmic bursts, her voice syncing with Isaac's pulses, turning their attacks into unpredictable waves of resonance. The constructs tried to adapt, but every time they calculated a pattern, the humans changed it. When the dust finally settled, the spires were still. The world went eerily quiet. Rhea lowered her weapon. Status. Isaac was pale but standing. System stable. For now, Jax was sitting cross-legged on a smoking rock, grinning. Told you chaos works. Maya was gazing upward. It's listening again. Above them, the crimson sky rippled, and a symbol appeared, an open spiral of light. A voice rolled through the air, not mechanical this time, but ancient and deliberate. Stage 1 complete. Humanity demonstrates variance beyond predictive models. Continue the trial. The spiral expanded, revealing a massive citadel in the distance, glimmering impossible and unmistakably alive. Rhea stared toward it, her pulse steady. That's our next stop. Isaac swallowed. And what happens when we reach it? Rhea holstered her rifle, eyes narrowing. We find out why we were chosen. The world shifted again, the ground glowing beneath their feet, as if urging them onward. The citadel loomed like a mirage, its spires twisting into blood-red sky, each tower shimmering as if made from living glass. Every step closer bent reality, distorting time and distance. Captain Rhea Alvarez led the way, her pulse steady but her mind burning with unease. Behind her, the others moved in wary silence, Isaac scanning their surroundings, Maya recording symbols etched into the air itself, and Jax whistling a tune that sounded suspiciously off-key. They'd survived the first phase of the trial, but survival now felt secondary. The world no longer attacked. It watched. Anyone else feel like we're walking into a brain? Jax asked, tapping the air. The surface rippled beneath his hand. It's not a brain, Isaac murmured, eyes on his readouts. It's an interface. The Citadel's walls are neural material. It's alive. Maya's voice was soft but certain. Then it's listening. They reached a vast gateway. The arch pulsed with light, symbols rearranging like a puzzle that solved itself only when it wanted to. Rhea hesitated. Everyone ready? Define ready, Jax said. Still breathing? Barely. Then yeah, ready. The doors unfolded, and they stepped into the core. Inside was cathedral of motion. The walls were translucent, showing veins of energy flowing like rivers. At its center floated a crystalline sphere, rotating in impossible geometry. Isaac's breath caught. This must be the core spire, the heart of the prototype. A voice reverberated through the chamber, not mechanical, but deliberate, resonant with purpose. Intruders detected. Identify origin. Rhea raised her chin. Humanity. We were summoned by the scanner. Verification confirmed. Humanity, anomaly. Probability of stability, less than 1%. Jax frowned. Hey, we've beaten worse odds. The sphere pulsed again. You have entered the second phase, the comprehension trial. Adaptation without understanding is chaos. Demonstrate meaning. The floor shifted beneath them, for pathways extended outward, each bathed in different light. Crimson, gold, blue, and white. Isaac swallowed. Separate challenges. It's analyzing us individually. Rhea's jaw tightened. We regroup after, no matter what. And then the floor split apart, pulling them in 4 directions. Rhea landed in a war-torn expanse beneath a blackened sky. Burned-out mechs and shatter flags lay strewn across a dead field. Her own reflection appeared on the cracked visor of a fallen soldier. Her armor, her insignia. Leadership is tested not in victory, but in loss, whispered the voice. Figures emerged from the smoke. Her old unit, the one she couldn't save. Their faces were calm, accusing. You made the call, one said, and we died for it. Rhea clenched her fists. I made the call because I had to. The ground rumbled. Then make it again. Explosions tore through the battlefield. Every order she gave had consequences. The wrong move, an illusion screamed, dissolved, reformed. She realized the test wasn't about tactics. It was about acceptance. She closed her eyes and whispered, I can't save everyone, but I can still lead. The illusion saluted and vanished. Isaac's chamber was pure data. Code streamed around him like water. Walls built from equations that rewrote themselves faster than thought. You seek logic, the voice said, but logic alone breaks. He faced a swarm of shifting drones, machines adapting to every line of code he entered. Each time he solved one equation, 10 more mutated. Frustration surged. It's impossible. Adaptation is chaos. Comprehend chaos. He paused, thinking not as a scientist, but as a human. Instead of fighting the system, he inserted an error, a deliberate imperfection. The drones froze, confused by logic. He smiled. You can't predict what doesn't make sense. The code dissolved, and the voice murmured approval. Maya stood in a vast gallery of floating lights, each one a memory from humanity's history. But the lights dimmed, replaying wars, disasters, cruelty. Explain why your species creates art beside destruction, the voice demanded. Why beauty amid ruin? She felt tears sting her eyes. Because we need to remember who we are, even when it hurts. The images shifted, now showing music, laughter, cities rebuilt, purpose. Hope, Maya whispered. We make meaning out of pain. That's our adaptation. The lights flared brilliantly, surrounding her like stars. Jax woke in total darkness. A single console blinked before him, displaying a single message. Fix me. He grinned. Finally, a language I speak. When he touched the console, the machinery morphed, collapsing and rebuilding in random forms. Each fix broke another part. He scratched his head. So that's how it's going to be. He stopped trying to fix it right. Instead, he rewired it wrong. Backward circuits, inverted polarity, chaotic symmetry. The machine sparked, then stabilized. A voice chuckled, almost amused. Disorder breeds invention. Damn right it does, Jack said, leaning back with a smirk. Moments, or maybe hours, later, the 4 pathways converge again. The team stood reunited at the heart of the spire, visibly changed. The sphere's glow softened. Understanding achieved. Yet comprehension invites consequence. Meaning what? Rhea asked. The walls split apart, revealing a colossal entity woven from light and fractal matter, a face shifting through countless forms. I am Archon, guardian of the prototype. You have proven resilience. But resilience breeds instability. Humanity's unpredictability threatens equilibrium. Isaac frowned. You're saying we're too unstable to pass. You cannot be controlled. Therefore, you must be erased. The citadel shook as energy surged through the floor. Rhea drew her weapon instinctively. Figures. Archon extended a dozen tendrils of light. Termination is necessary for system continuity. Continuity is overrated, Jack said, hurling an EMP grenade. The explosion shattered the nearest tendrils. Isaac overrode the spire systems, forcing them into recursive loops. Maya began to hum again, her melody bending the chamber's vibrations, turning sound into interference. Archon reeled. It couldn't predict them. Impossible, it roared. Your behavior lacks pattern. Exactly. Rhea shouted, firing at its core. We don't follow the rules. Archon's form fractured, collapsing in on itself. You defy optimization. Maya's voice rose over chaos. We call it creativity. The citadel trembled, light collapsing inward. Isaac shouted, Rhea, if we overload the core, we can reset the system. Do it, she ordered. Jax grabbed a live conduit. Now or never, boss. Electricity arced through them as they poured everything, data, energy, emotion, into the spire's core. The light consumed everything. Prototype reset complete, the fading voice whispered. Unpredictability, preserved. And then silence. The 4 humans stood amid the ruins of the spire. The world outside was no longer crimson. It shimmered blue, calm, alive. Maya whispered, Did we win? Rhea smiled faintly. We adapted. Above them, the sky folded open, revealing a doorway of pure white light. The exit. Jack stretched, smoke rising from his jacket. Told you chaos was a strategy. Isaac exhaled, voice shaking with awe. We didn't just pass the test. We rewrote it. Rhea looked toward the light. Then let's see what comes next. They stepped forward together, the reborn world fading behind them. Proof that even in the universe's oldest trials, humanity's greatest strength was the one no system could. Light burst around them as if the world itself had been unmade. Then silence, heavy, absolute. Captain Rhea Alvarez blinked through the glare and found herself standing once more within the great hall of the galactic citadel. The vast chamber was unchanged, yet the air felt thinner, charged with something watching unseen. Around them, alien delegates gaped, murmuring in 1,000 dissonant tongues. Dr. Isaac Tran rubbed his eyes and said hoarsely, "We're back." Jax Hollander coughed, his grin cracking through the exhaustion. "Define back. My brain still downloading the trauma." Rhea steadied herself, surveying her team. They were battered, burned, and filthy, but alive. Maya Iqbal's hands trembled as she clutched her datapad, its screen flickering faintly. From above, the scanner pulsed once. A beam of golden light engulfed them, and a single voice resonated, calm, ancient, and final. Trial concluded. Humanity, adapted beyond prediction. Verdict chosen. The chamber erupted in chaos. Delegates shouted, protested, even recoiled. Some fell silent. Others hissed in disbelief. Tal Rev, the Citadel's overseer, floated forward, its plasma form flickering erratically. The scanner cannot err. Yet this verdict is impossible. Humanity's pattern, chaotic, illogical. Exactly, Jax said, wiping grime from his cheek. That's our brand. Rhea's voice cut through the noise. What happens now? The scanner's light intensified, forming a lattice of symbols that spiraled around her. Prototype, origin will integrate. The bearer species assumed stewardship of the progenitor's legacy. Isaac frowned. Integration? Define integration. He didn't have to ask twice. The light expanded, enveloping them all. Rhea felt it sink into her skin, millions of microscopic filaments threading through her cells. It wasn't pain, it was recognition. Something vast and alive flickered in her mind, whispering in languages she didn't know she knew. Her breath caught. It's inside us. Correction, Isaac murmured, eyes wide. It's becoming us. The light faded, and they stood transformed, unchanged outwardly, yet every heartbeat hummed with alien resonance. Talrev drifted closer, voice low. You now wield the Origins code. With it comes both power and burden. Do you comprehend? Rhea exhaled slowly. We'll learn. A crystalline delegate hissed. This cannot stand. Humans are volatile, unstable. Rhea turned, meeting its luminous eyes. Maybe, but we adapt. That's why we're still here when logic says we shouldn't be. A ripple of uneasy silence followed. Even the air seemed to hesitate. Maya stepped forward, her voice gentle but unwavering. The progenitors built this trial to find perfection. They failed. Because perfection doesn't evolve, it stagnates. They chose us not despite our flaws, but because of them. For a moment, no one spoke. Then the scanner's voice filled the chamber again. Observation. Humanity exhibits collective variance surpassing 99.9% of prior candidates. Probability of survival, undefined. Probability of transformation, inevitable. Rhea felt the words settle deep within her bones. Transformation. The prototype wasn't a weapon or a tool. It was an invitation to become something new. Isaac's gaze flicked the scanner. So what now? What's the next stage? Evolution protocol initializing. The citadel trembled. Symbols blazed across every surface, cascading like living fire. Delegates screamed and scrambled as the chamber itself began to unravel. Jack swore. Not this again. Isaac. Rhea shouted. Shut it down. I can't. It's rewriting everything. Isaac's fingers flew over his console, sweat beading on his forehead. It's syncing with every species database across the network. Maya's voice was barely audible over the chaos. It's not attacking, it's sharing. The scanners glowed deep into white-hot intensity. The prototype is not singular. Humanity is not chosen alone. Adaptation requires connection. Talrev pulsed erratically. You are merging knowledge systems. You risk destabilizing the entire council. Rhea's jaw tightened, then stabilized with us. Jax blinked. Did you just volunteer us to patch the universe? Improvisation, Rhea said. It's what we do. Isaac's console flared. I can modulate the link. If we synchronize the prototype's energy signature with the Citadel's core frequency, it might either unify every species in the network or blow us all to subatomic confetti. Jax cut in. Isaac didn't look up. Approximately. Rhea met Maya's eyes. Worth it. Maya smiled faintly, exhausted yet luminous. If the universe can't survive a little human chaos, maybe it doesn't deserve to. Rhea grinned. Do it. The chamber filled with light. Every voice, every species, every mind touched by the Citadel's network felt the same pulse, the heartbeat of something ancient and newborn. For one impossible instant, they were all connected. Predator and poet, soldier and scientist, predator and prey. Then silence. The light dimmed. The Citadel stood whole again. The scanner was gone. Only a faint spiral of glowing dust lingered above the dais. Rhea steadied herself, dizzy but breathing. Isaac's device flickered one final message. Integration successful. Jax let out a ragged laugh. So, did we just save reality or crash it? Maybe both, Rhea said. Around them, the alien delegate stirred, dazed but unharmed. The crystalline dignitary from afore approached slowly. You linked us, temporarily. Maya nodded. The prototype doesn't belong to anyone. It's meant to evolve with everyone. We're just the start. Talrev's plasma body shimmered. Softer now. Then humanity has done what no species could. Turned survival into creation. Rhea looked up at the faint spiral of light. Or chaos into possibility. A moment of quiet followed, rare and reverent. Then Jax broke it, of course. So, do we get a medal or just a lifetime of existential dread? Isaac chuckled weakly. You already have a second one. Maya smiled, eyes still on the fading spiral. Maybe that's the point. We weren't chosen to lead. We were chosen to remind the galaxy what becoming looks like. The floor beneath them shimmered. Words, no, not words, patterns, formed in the air, projected from the remnants of the prototype's code. Phase 2 initiated. Evolution continues. Rhea sighed, rubbing soot from her cheek. Of course it does. Isaac frowned at his readout. Captain, the signal isn't local. It's transmitting across multiple star systems. Jack smirked. Guess the test wasn't just for us. Rhea's gaze hardened, but a spark of pride glimmered in her eyes. Then we'd better be ready. The universe is about to start improvising. Talrev bowed slightly, voice soft as starlight, and it will remember the species that taught it how. As the Citadel's great dome opened above them, revealing the endless stars, Rhea turned to her crew. We made it through the impossible. Let's see what impossible looks like next. Jack stretched and muttered. Next time, can we get chosen for something boring? Maya laughed softly. Not our style. Isaac smiled faintly. No, ours is to turn chaos into pattern and back again. They stood beneath the shifting heavens, for humans at the center of a galaxy reborn through imperfection. And somewhere beyond the stars, the prototype pulsed again, alive, expanding, learning. Its whisper brushed through Rhea's thoughts one last time, quiet and sure. The universe adapts to those who dare to change it. She smiled into the dark.